Hi there, and firstly, thanks to Creative Coat Hanger for inviting me here today. It's been a really lovely day, and actually, I've learned lots, and I'm going to try get an apprentice or something. So it's been great. I was asked to talk for just 5 minutes about my journey. I think actually Jules has probably just said a lot of what I was going to say, so I might be repeating myself. Other than that bio was a couple of years out of date. So to make it a bit more interesting, I thought while I talk, I'll let you see a short film that was made. So I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that you can hear me over it. The music on it is really beautiful, so I wanted to keep that on. It's actually by a guy from Edinburgh and a guy from Esdalemuir. So my name is Moy Mackay. I'm an artist, author, gallery owner, and sometimes tutor based in the Tweed Valley. My creative journey started from a very early age, having been born into a pretty creative family. I was drawing, painting, and making things as long as I can remember. So basically, have been on my own creative journey for over 50 years now. As Jules said, I graduated from Glasgow School of Art in 1990, where I specialised in printed textiles. My passion really was for painting, but even at the age of about 20, I was pretty business-minded, so figured it would make more sense to learn a trade, as I had always been painting for as long as I can remember, taught by my uncle, who was a painter. So by the time I graduated, I felt a need to develop an art form that combined some aspects of a traditional craft, in this case felt making, or at least using some of the traditional methods used in felting, but with more of a fine art application. And I guess this was driven by the sense of snobbery, dare I say, that I was aware of existing within art school and the art world at that time, which seemed to regard non-fine art disciplines as less credible. And this really bothered me, so I wanted to create some sort of art form that went some way to bridging the gap and combined the two. I went on to develop what I call felted paintings, for want of a better word. These are paintings that are created not with paint, but with dyed merino fibres from sheep fleece, basically. To start with, trying to get my non-painted paintings into galleries was not easy, but thankfully some took me on, mostly with thanks to my number one fan and mother, who took it upon herself to act as an agent for me in the early days. It was possibly her enthusiasm which got my work into some of my first galleries, and the rest is pretty much history. I have been exhibiting my work in galleries in the UK, mostly Scotland, and have exhibited in shows in the US, Scandinavia, and have sold pretty consistently for over 30 years now. In 2012, I was commissioned to write my first book by Search Press, followed by another in 2015 and a third in 2019. In these books, I share the techniques I have developed over the years. They have been published in 4 languages and to date have sold around 60,000 copies worldwide. Thanks to the exposure the books have given my work, I've been lucky enough to be invited to teach around the world, including Australia, the United States, Canada, Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, which has been a wonderful experience and has taken me to places I would never have otherwise been. While all this was happening, I was given the opportunity to take on commercial property in Peebles. I hadn't ever intended to open a gallery, however, it seemed to happen organically. So in 2012, I opened the Moy Mackay Gallery, and we are just coming up to our 13th anniversary, which I find quite hard to believe. In the gallery, we exhibit work from around 30 other artists and makers, including my own. Over the 13 years, we have gone through recessions, wars, pandemics, and Brexit, but thankfully have survived. This is possibly due to also running an online gallery, which has been a lifesaver. Running a gallery, dealing with artists and suppliers, maintaining an online presence, organising exhibitions, and so on, has been hard work. Becoming an employer, having to deal with way too many business-related things for my liking, has possibly been my least favourite part of this venture. However, it's also been a really rewarding one. Having worked alone in studios for years, it's actually really nice to have more contact with the end users, the customers who enjoy and buy the work. The final part of my business, well, final for now, came about during lockdown. As all travels were put on hold, all my planned teaching trips were cancelled. It actually afforded me time to stop for once and take stock of things. Because luckily I had already established an online business, it meant that an income was still being generated during that time, so I could relax a bit. That gave me time and space to think about how I could diversify. And as chance would have it, a lockdown guest staying in my home mentioned she could film and edit. So within a few weeks, we had filmed and edited my first 6-week online course, which was a great success with over 50 students from around the world signing up. As that was so well received, I went on to make a few other online courses and projects, which I now rerun annually. For me, online courses are a great way to reach a far greater international audience and to share something I am also very passionate about, encouraging them on their own creative journey, which is a really rewarding part of the process. Like my book sales, the online courses and projects are a means of earning a passive income that will continue as long as folk want to read my books and sign up for my courses. I love and I'm excited by the fact that we now have the technology to be able to easily communicate like this, do business with and share skills far and wide. So for now, my plan is to continue to try embrace all of these new technologies within my business. As from my experience, being open to change and exploring new avenues within my creative business is what has kept it and continues to keep it fresh and exciting for me. So thank you.